Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. After some break, let's resume the session that we're doing about data structure. So today we are going to talk about how to remove duplicates from sorted array. So before we do, let's first understand the problem. Okay, so the problem that we are going to solve today is that, and let's say there is an integer array and that is sorted. Non-decreasing order means increasing order, like basically yeah, so increasing order. And uh, what you need to do is that you need to remove the duplicates in place. So without using any additional array, you got to remove duplicates in a way that unique elements appears only once. So all the unique elements, they should be first increasing order, they should be in place replacement, and they should only appear once. That's why they are unique. And the relative order which was there on the original array should be maintained. So let's say there is a 1 2 3. So in the after the operation it should be 1 2 3 only, not 1 3 2 or something else. And the number of unique element should be the I would say it should return the number of unique elements. So let's say there are 1 1 2 2 3 3 4 4. So these are like 8 elements. So here the number of unique elements are 1 2 3 4. So 4 should be returned. Okay, so this is the the problem in a sense. As we kind of saying that the the array should just focus on the unique elements, and not about what is there after unique elements. So we're not bothered about what remaining after the unique elements. Rather, we just care about how many unique elements, and with the same order as they appear in the original array, it should be in place replacement, and of course it should be non-decreasing or increasing order, right? So it is a problem, I would say, summary. Now let's see with the example. So let's say the 1 1 2 is there. So what we're expecting is that the output should be 2 basically, because there are two unique elements, 1 and 2, and they should get printed like 1 and 2, right? Same goes with the second example, like 0 0 1 1 1 2 2 3 3 4. So in this case, unique elements are 5, so output should be 5, and the array should look like 0 1 2 3 4. So that's the relative order that we spoke in the previous slide, that you should maintain the same relative order, but you should remove the duplicates, and you should remove in place, right? And again, there are some constraints that you got to take care, especially when you select the data types and all. Okay, so without further delay, let's talk about solutions. So we're going to have two solutions. One is, of course, ON, but it has two loops. It's a little lengthy. Second approach could be cleaner, and of course only one loop, and it is, I would say this, from a complexity wise they're pretty close, ON, but second approach is more cleaner approach. It just had one loop, and I think I would say it's better. But yeah, we'll look into both. So let's first talk about the first one, and it's a demo time. So let's open the code. Let's see how to write the code. Okay. So for that, we, as you follow my previous video, you might notice that we have a common namespace. So let's say create a class. So let's say we are creating class. Name could be test. So in that we can create public static method so that we can call from main, and of course this will be called from main. So we are saying about giving a name like that. So there are two things. First, we need to, of course, get the elements that we input. So for that, let's say first ask users that please enter the size of array. Okay, so that we know that what is the size, and accordingly we can store into some variable, right? So we can store, like, we can read the string and we can convert into integer to int32. Okay, and I'm sure that you know how to read, so console.readLine, right? So that way we can read the what's the size. And once you know the size, we also need to enter the elements. So we can ask user that, hey, please let us know, or rather we can ask that please enter the elements of array by separating space, right? That we can ask, and we can close the braces, comma, sorry. Now when we do that, we need to be, since the element can be more, so let's create some, I would say, variable. This is not variable, array, so that we can store those. So I'm creating this integer array because they are going to be essentially integers. So integer array, and let's give a name nums equal to int, and of course m is the size. So as you know that arrays needs to given a size beforehand, so that's why we are saying. Now we'll store those elements, or those array elements, into this array. And again, same trick that we use, console.readLine, and we need to split by a space, so we can give a space here. And again, as by default those elements comes as a string, so we need to also convert them into integer. So dot select, using link query we can do that. So we can say convert dot int 32 and convert the x, because that's what we are talking about, and of course make it to array, because we also split it to array. It should work. Yeah, it does. So basically those numbers will sit in the nums. Now we can create a helper method that will remove the duplicates. But yeah, as you notice, we also need to get a count, how many counts. We can create some method called remove duplicates, and we can pass nums here, array, and let's create some helper method. Okay, yeah, so generate method, so we can generate this method here, private static and remove duplicates. Now in this, let's first we're going to have the, I would say, one that is little lengthy, and then we'll talk about the refinement. So for that, let's create a variable called int count equal to 0, and int. So here, right, we need a two variable, basically one is starting counter, and one is we are keeping that how many duplicates are there, right? So let's create another called index, and we can make it initialize with a default, or we can also write 0. Anything is fine. Now we need to start the loop so that we can start and we can reach actually from first element till last. So int I equal to 0, I less than nums of len, I plus plus. Now, so we have a count 0. So you notice it's like a two pointer method. So one we are keeping wherever we get unique elements. So by default, first is of course we'll insert the first element, because even if it is a duplicate, but yeah, first element we know that here it will be there, and it's basically count. So how many count we have? So count, and we're keeping from this array that we're rotating. So nums I, so we can have this nums count equal to nums I. So basically the first element will go there, and we can keep increasing this count plus plus. Now let's say there is a 1 1 1, right? So 3 times. So we need to see that how many times it is appearing. So what is the next unique element? So basically we need to find a next unique element, right? So let's put a comment here. Find the next unique element. And for that, the current, now you understand the use of the index, the variable that it had. So this will have the current counter. So we have I. Now what we can do is we can create another loop. The good part is that it is not starting from 0. It's starting from the first unique element. So it's not a O and ON2 kind of a complexity. It is ON, but we are just, I would say, fast forwarding that. So we don't need to create another variable. We can simply ignore, keep this. We can have the index starting, because that will have the I, and this can go till again as long as we have, but yeah, of course we can go basically one length minus, so that we are not getting the index issues. So -1 index plus plus, that's perfectly fine. Now what we're doing is that we're saying that if the elements are unique, uh, break it, go to the next, and if they are, then continue. So basically we'll know that how far the numbers are getting duplicated. So if nums index basically dot equals, and if they're equals to what? So basically if the first element index is similar to the next one, then we are continuing. So basically we keep getting the duplicates is what we are saying. So if it is like that, then continue, then continue, right? So basically we keep increasing the, I would say, counter basically. And if not, if we got the like first element is not same as next, it means we didn't get duplicate. So basically we'll break, right? So we'll break, and it will break. Only good part is that it will only break the innermost for loop, not the previous one. So it will just break the innermost, right? So that's the catch. That's how we can. And once we're done with this, once we're done with the loop, so what we can do is, now let's say in this case, if the duplicate numbers keep coming in, so it will continue and the index will keep increasing. So once we're out of this, what you can do is, once you're out of this loop, whatever the I, we can assign the index to I. So basically, let's say index went till 3, so now the new I would be 3. So it skipped the 3, right? So that's why overall complexity is still remain the n, but we just kind of fast forwarding with the next loop, as long as we don't find the as long as we know the I would say we don't find the unique element, right? That's the catch here. Now yeah, so now with this, oh, there is something, maybe one is okay, now it's fine. So with that, right, it should work. Let's okay, now we also need to return the count. So count we are maintaining here, right? So after this, we should return the count as well. That how many unique element we got. Now let's run this to see if that is working or not. So we need to call this driver. So test dot driver we can call test dot driver. We can call from here. Let's see. So I'm running. Let's see. Okay, there are some build failures. Okay, I missed this. No worries. Okay, this should be here. Okay, now let's run. So let's say I'm just taking simple example, but if you can, I'll put this code into GitHub and you can play around. So let's say three other element, and I'm inserting 1, 1, 2. So guess what would be the answer? Of course, 1, 2. Okay, there's nothing because we are printing that. Good catch. So let's also print it. So to print it, we got a count here. Now we also need to print them, and to print them, simple. Uh, we can have the for loop, or we can also have a for each, if that works. Yeah. So basically, we need to print those numbers that we got. Yeah. So let's rotate around as for each, or for anything is fine here because we are not. So in yeah. So we are going and we are basically printing this, and so basically here the catch is that it should go till count, right? Not the overall array. So in this case, count, we need to leverage the count, not the, otherwise it will print entire, right? So the it will print the entire array. So hence we need to only go till count, right? That's the catch. That's okay. So that we just end up printing the unique elements. So control the right line, you can just simply print nums and of course I, right? Now let's run. Hope you got the point, because count is keeping the unique elements count. Okay. We got to also have, what's the problem here? Private should be okay here. Delegates. I think there is something. Okay. Private should be fine. Static and there is something else. I think is triggering this problem. Okay, I think it is not getting closed here. That's the problem. Yep. Okay. So it is, yeah, this was the extra here. Sorry. Yeah, this should be fine now. Now let's run. So 3 and 1, 1, 2. 1 and 2, exactly. That's fantastic. It's working. Now let's try to refine this. So I'll not touch this one. Maybe we can create another one called, duplicate 2 for simplicity. So let's create a sibling of this. That would be more cleaner approach. So let's say I'm giving a name 2, and I'm also calling this from here 2. Now let's create another, I would say, more efficiency wise, it's not more or less same, but more one of a clean code also matters, right? So we'll try to, I would say, refine it. So in this case, yeah, it's pretty, I would say, quick. Let's create a counter called int, we can say count equal to 0, right? I think this remains the same, but with just one for loop we can do the job. So for int I, here we can start from 1, right? And then you will notice why it is 1. Yes, and because we are starting count from 0, that's the catch here. And what we can simply say is, right, that if nums of count, basically let's say 0th position, is not equal to same, not equal to means it is different, right? As long as we are there. So as long as until this is different, so if it is the first and second is different, then what you do, you means you got a unique element and just you do the in place replacement. So basically in the count, what you do, you increase the count, of course. So initially will be, let's say if this is different, so increase the count, keep increasing the count and keep storing the number that you have. Exactly. See, so with a small code we can do the job. So basically we are saying that we don't need a two for loop, although the complexity was similar, but we don't need that. We can simply go good with this. So if here the funda is that you're having a two counter again, one is count, one is I, and starting from one, what you're checking is that you're looping first of all from start to end, and you're checking if the this count, the enter counter, so until it is different. So basically you just bothered about the unique elements. So until it is not same. So if it is same, it won't go inside. If it is different, so basically you just bothered about the unique elements. If you found a unique, means both are not same, the one with this counter and the one that's going from starting to end, then of course you will just increase the counter, and you will zeroth anyway you have something. So from next position, whenever you find a unique element, you just replace that unique element with this counter. So see how with this CRISPR code we can do the job. And of course once you do, you also need to return something, right? So what you return, you need to return this count basically. So how many elements you got, and starting from since you're starting from 0, so you can have the count plus 1, because 0 is used for indexing, but when you say count, you got to know that how many overall count, right? So with that you're good. Now what's the problem here? Okay, looking fine. Okay, so return, okay, here, right? You just have the if code. Okay, this was extra, fine, or you can keep this here for readability. Now you return this. Now let's say it should work. Okay, what's the problem? Okay, there's a brace missing there. Okay, so here is the extra brace, and then of course you will do the here. Okay, now should be fine. And this count you should keep out of this, so that you don't get that nothing is returning. So because once you're done with this, it should be good. So now it should be fine. Now let's run. So size of elements 3. We'll do the same example. 1, 1, 2, and 1, 2. We got the answer. So it's working. It's pretty crisp code. It does the magic with just a tiny code. And as you learn that if the code is small and doing the job, that is the most efficient code, right? So the great developer is the one who writes the code that is small, effective, efficient, not like the the big one and do the same thing, right? Because space also matters. So this is better code. Now let's go back. So now we learned about how to basically remove the duplicates with these two approaches. Code you can find over here. And again, thanks to this coding platform, which kind of gives us to kind of amazing questions. I have gratitude to them actually. So they're doing really great job. And again, this about me. I do this out of passion, and here is now you want to be kind of getting notifications for next video. Feel free to subscribe this one. Thanks for your time. Take care.